toss it around. Bryce Bird and Braden Thompson both had a lot of big catches, positive plays. Defensively, we were pretty good. Special teams was very clean, so all three phases were really good Friday night.
I agree with you that you did clean up the special teams, which is a key to anything. So this week's opponent, you have Greenbrier East from the southern part of the state. What do they do best? What do they do bad? What do they do good?
Well, I think that, coming in, they've got an explosive quarterback and playing one of the top running backs in AAA, and the Klein kid. He's pretty special. They're going to be a lot of 3-by-1, 10, 11, 12 personnel. They try to formation you to death. They're going to throw the ball vertically. The Q's obviously a great runner, a really good athlete. So it becomes a numbers game in the run game and the pass game for them. They're looking to get you out-hatted and try to get you to the edge on the corners and create big plays. So we've got to be disciplined defensively. Obviously, it would benefit us to be able to run the football Friday night and eat the clock and hopefully move the ball that way to keep our defense off the field. Those are the kind of things that we're looking to do.
And you told me that earlier today they're 0-2 on the season, but they have played two pretty good teams.
Yeah, they have. Both quality ball clubs that they've lost to. They're going to end up being probably a 7-3, 6-4 ball club in AAA. And with their schedule, that's saying a lot because they play a lot of quality ball clubs. Coach Lee does a tremendous job with it. They play extremely hard. They're very disciplined. They're very well coached. I mean, the things that top off are their alignments, their start, their stance, few penalties. The things that let you know that they're well coached pops right off on film. Their scheme is really good, so they're going to create problems. It's not like we're coming here against an 0-2 club that's no good. I would tell you the truth, that was the case. It's the opposite. If we fool around, they'll take it to us Friday night. We'll be in trouble.
How have the boys responded to that charge by you that this is not your typical 0-2 team?
Well, I mean, when you put the film on, you show them their opponents and what they've done and who they've lost to, they understand real quick. And a lot of the guys remember going down there last year. I mean, the Q and the back are both back, and they created problems for us last year as well. So they know what they're facing, and we're not to the point yet. We're not good enough to overlook anybody. Friday night's just the next step. So we'll either come out and do the things that we're supposed to do and come out with a victory, or we'll fool around and be 1-2.
So you went there last year and they returned the favor this year, and I'm sure you like getting that 3.5-hour trip out of the way last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely don't want to hop back on a bus and get another 3.5 hours down to Greenbrier to play. It's a long trip. Those kind of things shouldn't be taking place. You and I have talked a little bit separately. You and I have talked about that separately on our own accord. It's bad out of the conference. We won't get into that whole breakdown, but the reason you're in a conference with 13 teams is to play local football teams. It's a shame we only play 5 of them, but there's a reason for that.
You got to play good competition from around the state.
You do.
Yeah, and I know other programs here at Robert C. Byrd feel the same way. You got to play that competition in other areas.
Yeah, the down the road.
Yeah. So last question. I got a little worried last week when I looked down on the field, and Jonathan said, Coach Grell's not down there. And then he doesn't worry as much as I do, but I started to worry. But then I saw your mom and dad sitting in the stands, and I thought, well, it can't be a life or death situation. And we did not know until I saw you run down right before half that you were actually in the press box. So explain and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're built different this year. We're going to throw the ball around, and if I'm going to help the team, it's in the passing game. So it's advantageous for me to go upstairs where I can see everything, see the fronts, the coverages, the blitz packages, make sure we're getting people on and off. And again, after 27 years of doing this, it's not about me being on the sidelines. It's about us winning football games. People don't show up to see me, and I don't care one way or the other where I'm at. Just as long as we're winning, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get us there, and that's where it's best for me to be right now. And I've got a lot of good guys on the field that can handle that, so that's not an issue for us.
Yeah, you can't pull that off, without having a good coaching staff that you trust.
Absolutely.
And we've talked a lot about that before.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Coach, I want to wish you good luck tonight in your quest for your second win of the season. Go get them.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Robert C. Byrd Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. Our producer tonight is David Oliverio. Alongside me, as always, Jonathan Griffin. And, Jonathan, you have a couple stats and notes for the opponent tonight, the Spartans of Greenbrier East.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. And, again, welcome to Robert C. Byrd High School for this matchup. Taking a look first at Greenbrier East. The Spartans, they've rushed for 452 yards this season. They've thrown for 190 in the air so far. Somebody to keep their eye on tonight is Dalton Klein. He's a team's leading rusher. He's got 270 yards on the season. Cayman Reynolds is the team's leading receiver with 175 yards on 10 catches and 3 touchdowns. Greenbrier East is coming into the contest 0-2 on the season. However, they've played some tough competition. They fell in week 1 to Point Pleasant, 30-7. Last week fell to Woodrow Wilson, 49-21. Taking a look at the Robert C. Byrd Flying Eagles, RCB comes in at 1-1 on the season after they picked up a 57-23 win over Oak Glen, their first of the year last Friday. RCB outgained Oak Glen 541 to 284 total yards as they ran for 224 and threw for 317 yards. RCB tallied 26 first downs and was 8 of 14 on third downs for 57% and 3 of 4 on fourth downs for 75%. Nick George has thrown for 571 yards, going 34 for 67 on the season with 5 touchdowns and an INT, and his 317 yards was the 7th most in school history in a single game. George is also the team's leading rusher with 25 carries for 129 yards and 4 rushing TDs. Bryce Byrd has had an excellent start to this season. He's hauled in 14 receptions for 263 yards, 3 touchdowns, and has a defensive INT. Braden Tomlinson has caught 12 passes for 192 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Quentin Cooley has caught 3 passes for 76 yards and has a defensive touchdown. Latrell Jones had a nice game last week. He rushed for 74 yards so far on the season on 15 carries and has a TD. Defensively, Ty Drake has been stellar in both contests for Robert C. Byrd as he's racked up 9 tackles and more in each of his first 2 games. Again, Robert C. Byrd fell in week 1 to Kaiser 35-21, and they defeated Oak Glen last week 57-23.
Thank you, Jonathan. So we're getting ready to start the contest tonight as both teams enter the field. Greenbrier East arriving just a little bit late here, probably only about an hour and 15 minutes prior to game time, looking to come up 79 and give the Eagles all they can handle. As Coach Gurrell alluded to in his pregame interview, he is going to be in the booth or on top of the press box tonight, working the game and calling the plays for the offense. Beautiful night here. Not too many clouds in the sky. Sun's going down. It's a little hot in the booth right now. We have our binoculars, and we're ready to go, and we'll be cooling off here when the sun goes down just over my left shoulder.
Really good, comfortable football weather tonight.
Very comfortable. So the coin toss being presided over now by the Reverend Harris, who is a longtime Robert C. Byrd supporter and fan.
So not sure who won the toss, but Robert C. Byrd will receive. So I'm going to most likely say Greenbrier East probably won the toss and elected to kick off, and Robert C. Byrd will take the opening kickoff. So we'll see the Flying Eagles offense first tonight.
Just a couple of injury notes. Braylon Hilliard, number 5 for the Flying Eagles, a senior running back. He is out of tonight's game. If you remember, he got hurt on that first play of the game last week, and it was something to his lower leg, his hip area. So Coach Gurrell said he did not practice much during the week, and he's going to elect to hold him out this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was one of those injuries as we saw it happen early in the game, and you knew as soon as he pulled up something was wrong. So hopefully, he can take this week off and get back out there as soon as possible.
So number 30, Noah Dotson for the Spartans will kick off. Back deep for the Eagles, number 12, Thomason. Bryce Byrd is the up man. Along with 84, Quentin Cooley. So just about ready to get things started here tonight in Clarksburg.
I like what you did right there.
The campus of Robert C. Byrd High School.
So here's Dotson with the run-up, and he's going to drive it to about the 20. It's picked up by Thomason. He's going to go to the right, make a few cuts, and he's going to be driven out of bounds right about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, really good job there by Tomlinson. Didn't really have a whole lot at first. Waited, kind of let his blockers set up, and made a little bit out of nothing. He was forced out of bounds there by Grant Burdett for Greenbrier East.
And sometimes when that kickoff bounces on the ground, it takes a little bit more time to reach the returner, allowing the kicking team to get downfield.
Having a little difficulty where they move the spot up now to the 32. Or I'm sorry, to
check
the,
that 27.
27. Sorry.
So here's George in the shotgun. Sends a man in motion, and we've got a flag down on the first play. Not a good sign. That's going to be a legal procedure against the Flying Eagles. False start, says the official.
And they called that there on Bryce Bird. Not very often do you see a false start on a wideout. Not sure if he got leaning forward and just kind of couldn't catch his momentum to stop, but never a good sign on first down. Instead of 1st and 10, now it's 1st and 15.
Well, with the catches he had last week, and one catch in particular, no wonder he's anxious to get downfield. So we'll try it again, 5 yards deeper this time. George again in the shotgun. Flanked by 5. Correction, that's number 1, Latrell Jones. And there's another flag down. So we're going to have a dead ball encroachment foul against the Spartans. So penalties are equal after 2 plays. We haven't really gone anywhere. So 3rd time's a charm.
And if you're Coach Lee, you're never happy with that.
No, Same formation for the Eagles. And it's going to be a pitch to Jones, and he's going to scamper up the middle of the field to about the 34-yard line.
Brought down by Carter Hamilton for the Spartans. Nice run there by Latrell. Reading his blockers, got to the edge, and then kind of dipped it back up the middle and got what he could.
Very patient runner, waiting for your blocking to develop. So it'll be 2nd down and 4 to go. Here's the snap, and it's Jones up again, the middle. Correction, up the middle again, I should say. He'll be close to the 1st down.
Christopher Sinclair with the tackle, and a really good job there by Jones, because he was hit behind the line of scrimmage there and basically got enough to get the yard. Christopher had him dead to right in the backfield, just carried his momentum forward, reached that ball out, and picked up the 1st down.
Strength on strength. So that will be a 1st down. Be 1st and 10. Ball be spotted at the 37-yard line. Here's the snap back, and George is going to keep it, and he's going to run up the middle to about the 41-yard line. They may give him the 41.
Ian Klein, the running back, the leading rusher for the Spartans with the tackle. Also assisted by Weston Pence.
And that was a designed run, obviously, by George.
And they have done that a lot this year. That's been a staple of Robert C. Byrd's offense. And we talked, I know, in the first 2 weeks, George, he's a big runner, strong runner, big for a quarterback.
And I would say it's 50-50 on whether Coach Gurrell wants Nick George to be the team's leading rusher.
I would agree.
So here's George. He's going to step back to pass. He's looking for, that was Lotsky, I believe, down the left sideline, but it's incomplete over his head.
Yeah, a little miscommunication out there. Lotsky kind of stopped earlier. The ball sailed over his head. Ian Klein was the closest defender there. Had a shot at maybe making an interception, but it sails out of bounds.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Lights are on here at Robert C. Byrd. We'll need them eventually. The sun is still doing a good job of providing us with that natural light on the field. And we're going to have a penalty again. Or correction, we're going to have a timeout. So as they got set, the Eagles there, they sent Bryce Byrd in motion, but one of the coaches saw something they didn't like, and they promptly called timeout.
Yeah, good job there. You never want to waste a timeout early in the first quarter, but a crucial 3rd down here to try to extend this drive to get points here in the first quarter.
And looking across the way, Jonathan, it seems as if Greenbrier East has brought more fans than our opponent last week, Oak Glen.
Yeah, they've got a good crowd over there. The cheerleaders are over there. So several Spartan fans making the trip.
So we'll get set to do it again here. 3rd and 6, ball resting at the 41. George in the backfield in the shotgun, flanked again by Jones. Bryce Byrd in motion. It's going to be a quick handoff to Bryce Byrd around the left side, and he's going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, tackled there by Klein. Bryce almost got to the edge. He had a blocker there. Jones was the lead blocker. He kind of outran. His blocker got ahead of Jones. Jones wasn't able to pick up the block, and it's going to be a 4th down.
And a nice play by Klein to evade that block and get in on the tackle also. So that's going to put RCB in a punting situation.
Not sure. The officials are discussing something now. Not sure. I didn't see a penalty marker.
I did not.
Oh, wait. No,
yeah,
there is one now across the way.
I did not see any signal, though, for a penalty. But we're going to get a
So it is over there on the
interpretation here in a second.
38-yard line on the far side.
Apparently they're just going to pick it up.
Yeah.
So
The official still didn't make. Well, now he's asking the official, and his mic is still on. So he's going to stop play again here.
we think Bird's going to punt. And back to punt for the Eagles is Thomason. Back deep for the Spartans is number 13, Lucas McAllister, and number 21, Klein. And there's Thomason with a nice kick downfield that goes out of bounds. About the 30-yard line. So not a great kick, but an effective kick. But still, 30-yard line is good starting field position.
Yes, we'll see the Robert C. Byrd Eagles defense take the field now. Get a first look at Ty Drake, who I said earlier has had a phenomenal start to his season.
So Monquel Davis, the senior for the Spartans of Greenbrier East, number 11, will handle the quarterbacking duties. He snaps the ball, and it's a quick pass out to Klein, and we have a flag down on the play. So Klein took the pitch with the pass to the right.
It was actually Jack Pate.
Correction, Jack Pate.
With the catch. Lotsky had him dead to right in the backfield. He kind of got away from him. Not sure what the penalty is. Does look like Greenbrier East is backing up.
So we've had already 4 or 5 penalties, which is a lot this early in the game.
They announced holding, but I think it was an illegal block by the official hand signal. It looked like it was an illegal block against Greenbrier East.
So Davis now in the shotgun with Klein directly behind him. He calls for the ball, and here's a pitch out to Klein, and he slips as he tries to move to the left. Just went down on his own there.
Yeah, just kind of lost his footing. Logan Frum's going to get credit with the tackle. He was the closest Eagle defender there. And you're going to see a lot of Klein tonight, folks. He is their leading rusher.
He's their bread and butter.
And so far, you've heard his name a lot on defense.
Yes.
You're going to hear his name a lot on the offensive side of the ball as well.
So 2nd and 14, ball's at the 26. Here's Davis again, dropping back, looking to pass. He's got a receiver but doesn't get it to him. He's going to scramble now and heave one deep, and that's going to be way over everybody's head.
Yeah, pass was intended for Lucas McAllister. Just overshot him big time. The Eagles did have 2 defenders there in Jones. And it looked like Hunter Jackson was also the man in coverage for Robert C. Byrd.
And I think when that ball was thrown, they thought they might have a chance at an interception, but it just sailed over their heads.
Yeah. McAllister, Davis did have some pressure, did a good job of escaping, trying to extend the play, just unfortunately couldn't complete the pass.
So it's 3rd and 14. Davis back to pass again, and he's going to be flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to throw short. Ball's going to be caught by number 4, Donovan Penn. He's going to be short of the first down, however. So that'll put the Spartans in a punting situation.
James McMillan was the tackler for the Flying Eagles to force that 4th down.
Dotson, number 30, back to kick for the Spartans. Thomason back deep for the Flying Eagles. It's a low snap that bounces in, and they do get the kickoff. Bounces at about the 35. Thomason lets it hit him, has to backtrack, and he does eventually fall on the ball back at about the 17-yard line. So that bounce kind of threw Thomason a little bit. When the kick's not a really good kick and it's kind of wobbly, it can take all sorts of different kinds of bounces and be tough for the return man to corral.
So we'll get our second look here, the Flying Eagles offense.
So they were able to establish a little bit of offense, a little bit of momentum. I don't know whether you'd really call that momentum on the first drive, but they did move the ball. So we'll see what they can do here. So George is under center, and he's going to hand off again to Jones. Jones is going to break around the right side for a gain of about 7. So a nice little run to the right side.
Yeah, and a really good block out there for Wyatt Minor to break Jones. I mean, he just that's a pancake right there, folks. What a great block by Wyatt to spring Jones.
You just gave me an idea for breakfast tomorrow. So it's going to be 2nd and 3 for the Flying Eagles. And George is going to keep it, go straight up the middle, and he's going to pick up the first down. Hit a couple of Greenbrier East defenders there and kind of bounced around and moves up to about the 32-yard line.
Carter Hamilton there is going to get credit with the tackle for the Spartans. And again, a lot like last week looking at this game, Bird really is trying to establish that running game. They did that last week early. I know Jones got a little banged up. He didn't play in the second half, but they've kind of done the same thing here tonight. They've ran the ball 5 times and only attempted 1 pass.
Yeah, and they were missing both Hilliard and Jones last week in the second half. So they were more or less forced to go to the pass. And here's George, who drops back to pass. Flag down. He's going to throw deep to Bryce Bird, who can't make the reception, but another flag comes in at the end of that play.
Yeah, plenty of time back there for George. Most likely when you see that flag in the backfield, that's probably going to be a hold on the offensive line. But it looks like, I'm not sure if they're going to call defensive holding or pass interference on here for Bryce Bird. Most likely that penalty is going to go against Lucas McAllister of the Spartans. So we'll see as the officials talk this one out.
Yeah, it looks like it's possibly the calls are going to negate each other. And that's exactly what the calls are. Pass interference against the Spartans.
So we're just going
and
to.
illegal motion or illegal shift against the Eagles. So we'll replay that down.
Which I'm not sure. Okay, there they go. I was going to say the down marker over there changed it to second down, but they should replay the down. So now they've set it to first down. So
it'll be first down and 10, balls resting at the 32-yard line. So George sends a man in motion, and it's going to be a handoff off the right side. Gain of about 2. Jones with the pickup.
Blake Dowdy was the tackler for the Spartans. Still some penetration there up front for Greenbrier East, but again, Jones has done a good job of really eluding that first would-be tackler and making something out of not a lot there.
Yeah, Jones still finding his way as a sophomore. Didn't play a lot last year behind Jeremiah King, of course. Limited to a half last week and did not touch the ball much in the first game. So he's still learning the ins and outs of high school football. Here's George, steps back to pass, and he's got Bryce Bird wide open down the sidelines, and he makes the catch. The ball comes loose, and I think they're going to say he had the catch and a fumble. Now the officials are talking about it.
Yeah, Bird was tackled by 21. Bird kind of grabbed the ball and took off running just in case they said it was a fumble because the ball never went out of bounds. But they are going to say he was down. And really, that would have been a touchdown if there wasn't.
Yeah.
George had some pressure in his face.
He did have a blitzer.
Had to step up to get that throw. Good completion, but just a little bit underthrown.
Yeah.
But a good job of stepping up to avoid the sack.
Yeah, and that replay just out of the view of our camera, so we couldn't actually see, but they're going to give Bird the
and now we're going to have
reception.
Another false start on Robert C. Bird. It's going to be the third penalty.
So that'll back the ball up 5 yards. It'll be first and 15. Ball will rest at it's not the 26 now. It's going to be the 41-yard line. So here's George with another design keeper, and he's going to roll around the left side and pick up 5. He's going to get back to the original down marker.
Carter Hamilton is the tackler for the Spartans.
And they've run George a little bit more than I expected them to start tonight.
Yeah, that was his second carry there. He's got 11 rushing yards. He's averaging 5.5 yards a carry so far. And Jones has carried the ball 4 times for 18 yards and is averaging 4.5 yards a carry.
It seems like he's carried the ball more tonight, George has, but I guess that's his scrambles. So second and 10, ball's at the 31 now. Here's a little bit of miscommunication in the backfield maybe. George is going to heave one deep. There's a battle for it in the end zone, and a flag comes down between, that was Thomason and the DB for Greenbrier East, McAllister.
Yeah. Not sure. Both guys were kind of fighting for the ball.
It's going to be interesting to see as we take a look at the replay.
I'm going to say
that could go either way.
I'm going to say pass interference on the offense.
Because McAllister was in good position.
He did. He had good position. And again, you've got to let the defensive back also be able to make a play on the ball, same as the wide receiver, and it does look like Bird is going to back up.
And if you don't know, or some of you very well may know, the one thing that you can't do as a DB is simply look at the receiver and not look at the ball. You have to be turned around and making an attempt to look and see where the ball is.
And I'm sure Coach Lee of Greenbrier East has seen the first 2 games of Bryce Bird, and I'm sure those defensive backs, even though that wasn't to him, I'm sure they really emphasized the deep ball this week in practice.
Yes, I think they knew that Bird was going to try to throw it. So Robert C. Bird's looking at a 2nd and 25. Ball's all the way back at the 46. Here's a little bit of trouble on the snap, but George gets the pass out to Jones, a little swing pass. He's going to pick up a couple.
Jones is tackled by Hamilton again. Almost made a miss. But again, a good job by George. It was a high snap. Did a good job of getting the ball down and getting it out to his playmaker in space.
So it's going to be 3rd and 22. Penalties killing drives for both clubs at this point in the game.
George is having a little trouble, and it looks like Bird's either going to take a delay. No, they're going to take a timeout. So they're going to use their 2nd timeout here in the first quarter, which is you never want to do.
Right. So we'll take a break here with 4:07 left in the first half. Correction, first quarter, that is, and we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Clarksburg. I'm John Griffin along with Jonathan Griffin. David Oliverio, our producer tonight, as always. 4:07 left to go in the first quarter. Bird facing a 3rd and 22. So this will probably be a pass.
Yeah, we'll see what Bird draws up. Right now, Cooley is the closest to us. He's got one-on-one, and Bird far away does too.
And it's going to be a swing pass to Thomason. Makes the first guy miss and can't elude the 2nd tackler, however.
Yeah, Thomason's brought down by Jake Pate, but did a really nice job of making the first tackler miss.
So it'll be 4th and 19. So good chance here for Robert C. Bird to punt the ball deep and really change field position.
Yeah, so far tonight, neither team's really had great field position. This has been the deepest that a offensive unit has driven into the opponent's territory.
Yes.
So Bird, like you said, can really flip the field here.
Here's a snap to Thompson. He kind of muffs it. Not a great snap, but he gets off a good kick, and it's going to roll all the way down to the 1-yard line. So a nice job there to down the ball by the Robert C. Bird special teams unit.
That was Nathan Lotsky, did a really good job keeping that ball from going in the end zone.
And, of course, the differences in high school from college and the pro game is that your body can be in the end zone as long as the ball is not. So Lotsky doing a nice job to sprawl out in the end zone and lay down flat, but keep the ball within the field of play. So the sun's fully set here at Robert C. Byrd Stadium. Just a little bit of sunlight peeking through the clouds and resting on the hillside over to our right. So it'll be first down and 10, balls at the 1. Here's a snap back, and that's going to be Klein up the middle. He'll gain about 5.
Ty Drake there for the Eagles, along with McMillan.
Drake once again making his presence felt.
And Beto was also there. So a host of tacklers for the Flying Eagles. With Greenbrier East being backed up so much, I think Byrd kind of honed in on them running the ball.
So here's 2nd and 6, balls at the 5. Here's a snap back, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper. He goes to his left, then he's going to reverse field, and he can't just escape the Robert C. Byrd defense. So a nice job in pursuit after the play was designed to go left.
Yeah, and that was a really nice job by Hunter Jackson of not letting Davis did a really good job. It was a design quarterback run the entire way. Made the first couple guys miss and cut back. Hunter did a really good job of staying home and making that tackle, especially out in space.
So it's going to bring up a 3rd down, 4 to go for the Spartans. Here's a snap back to Davis, and he'll hand it off to Klein, who runs up the middle, cuts it to the left side, and he's going to have the first down and more. So a nice job by the Spartan offense to get out of the shadow of the end zone.
Klein was forced out of bounds there by Drake for the Flying Eagles defense. And Klein, you can tell he is a big, strong, hard-nosed runner. Bird's done a really good job of kind of keeping him contained so far. That was really his first big run on the night.
Klein checking in at 5'7", 155. A stout 5'7", 155. Here's a snap back for the Spartans on a first down, and it's another pitch out to the left to Klein. He's going to let his blocking develop, and he's going to have another first down up about the 47-yard line. And you can just see the patience in Klein with that run.
Yeah, McMillan there with the tackle, and Klein did a really nice job. It's one of those plays, if you're a fan, sometimes you're thinking, get up the field, but he did a really nice job of waiting, letting his blockers develop down the field, and really making another nice run. So that's back-to-back 2 nice runs for Klein.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they go back to him here.
Yeah. So a drive without no penalties, that's the biggest takeaway here. And they're going to have Klein this time stopped just a gain of about 2 yards.
Yeah, really the same play, just to the opposite side of the field. Klein was brought down by Drake and for the Flying Eagles.
So it'll be 2nd and 8. $20 seconds on the clock, 12 seconds on the play clock, so the Spartans are going to have to run one more play.
Yeah, I think the Spartans were
hoping.
They were hoping to take that into the second quarter, but they're going to be forced to run one more.
So here's Davis in the shotgun. He's going to drop back to pass. Pursued by the Eagle defense, and they just miss him. And now they're going to have him down at about the 49-yard line on a scramble by Davis.
Lotsky and Drake there for the tackle.
So Monquel Davis has shown some nice elusiveness tonight, but he hasn't really been able to get anywhere with it so far.
No, earlier, like I said, they haven't really thrown the ball. They've had 190 yards passing in their 2 contests. So they haven't really had any plays develop through the air. But again, Davis has done a nice job. There's been some, you can tell he's got some athletic ability. There have been some designed quarterback runs, as well as his elusiveness to kind of make something out of nothing.
All right, so we'll take a break, getting ready to start the second quarter here. There is no score from Robert C. Byrd High School. Back live at Robert C. Byrd High School, beginning the second quarter here. The Spartans have the ball just inside the 50 at the 48. We'll call it the 48.5-yard line of the Flying Eagles. It's going to be a 3rd and 6 for Greenbrier East. Davis under center. He's going to hand the ball off to Klein around, and he's going to go around the left side, and it looks like he's going to pick up the first down.
He's still going.
So a nice hard run by Klein to pick up the first down.
He was finally forced out there on the far sideline by Lotsky. Byrd looked like they had him before the sticks, but Klein did a good job of extra effort and fighting to get that first down.
So the officials will spot the ball at the 34-yard line. Fresh set of downs for the Spartans. Davis under center again, and he's going to hand off to Klein around the left side. Just a gain of about 2 on the play there.
Drake there with a stop for the Flying Eagles.
And apparently Bryce Byrd and Monquel Davis shop at the same shoe store because they have exactly the same kind of shoes on, same colored shoes. So it's a 2nd and 7. And here's Davis rolling out on a fake handoff to the right, makes a man miss. He's down inside the 20, all the way inside the 10 now. So a nice designed run there by Davis.
Yeah, another really good play design there by Coach Lee and the staff for the Spartans. It looked like a play-action pass. There was really no receiver that Davis was looking at all. That was just kind of stop, fake the pass, make the defensive back either commit to playing the pass or come up and get the run, and then he just did the rest with his legs.
And I believe that was Thomason he made miss there on the perimeter. So the ball's going to be spotted at the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and 8 or goal to go for the Spartans. And I would say that Klein's going to touch the ball in this series of downs. He's in the backfield. Here's the handoff to Klein. Hit at the line of scrimmage, but breaks free, and he's going to ramble into the end zone for a Spartan touchdown. So another nice run by Klein.
Yeah, Klein really being the workhorse of this offensive unit for the Spartans. Again, Byrd had him behind the line of scrimmage, just not wrapping up, a missed tackle there, and it leads to points.
So a nice drive that started at the 1-yard line for Greenbrier East, and the most relevant factor there is no penalties.
Yes.
And Dotson's going to put the PAT through for the Spartans. So your score with 10:33 left to go in the second quarter, the Greenbrier East Spartans 7, the Robert C. Byrd Eagles 0. We'll take a break and be right back after these messages.
County Schools has a long-standing tradition of providing outstanding educational opportunities for its students. Comprised of 24 schools, our district serves the needs of pre-K through 12th grade students throughout Harrison County. Providing a safe, supportive learning environment for all, we offer a well-planned, comprehensive curriculum designed to meet the needs of every student at every grade level. The elementary curriculum emphasizes core subjects augmented by music, art, health, integrated technology offerings, and physical education. Middle school students are introduced to programs, career counseling, and coursework that will help them make the transition to high school. Our high schools offer a broad and challenging curriculum to meet diversified needs and prepare our students for future careers or post-secondary education.
So here's the kickoff by the Spartans. They're going to squib it along the ground, and Bryce Bird is going to collect it, and he's going to run upfield through a couple of Spartans and be brought down at about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, good job there by Bird of collecting that ball and getting up the field. Sometimes the up back just wants to fall down, but Bird, Bryce does a really good job of catching the ball and getting yards after the catch, so why not try it on a kick return?
Correct. We have a couple of scores from around the state now, Jonathan.
Yeah, taking a quick look real quick. Bridgeport is leading John Marshall 14-7. That is in the first quarter. Phillip Barber and Buchanan Upshur are knotted at 7-7. And Roane County and Clay County are knotted at 0 in the first.
So here are the Eagles on a first down, almost picked off by the Spartan defense. Not a great pass by Nick George. That was number 33 for the Spartans.
Yeah,
Hamilton.
George was trying to fit that into a tight window to Bird. Really good coverage by the Spartans there. I'm sure if Nick would like to have that one back.
Yes. So it'll be 2nd and 10, ball still resting at the 35-yard line. Nick George under center, and here's a handoff, and it's going to be no fake. And George is going to roll around the right side on a designed play again for the quarterbacks, which we've seen a lot of tonight.
He's going to be tackled by Landon von Fossen.
And it's going to be a loss of about 3. Brings up a 3rd and 13 for the Flying Eagles.
So far, the drive has been going backwards
yes.
for the Flying Eagles offense.
George back in the shotgun. He'll drop back. And he's got Thomason wide open across the middle, but the ball was low, and Thomason can't corral it. So a nice effort by Thomason, just couldn't get down quick enough.
Yeah, really good job. Had him there. Ball was a little underthrown, a little low. Did a good job of going down trying to make the catch, just couldn't pull it in.
And Nick George coming off to the sideline, off the field, he knows it. He's got both hands on his helmet thinking, oh, my gosh, I had him.
Because if he puts that on, that Tomlinson's going for 6.
Yes. So Bird will punt. Thomason with the honors. He'll be punting to McAllister, who was back deep for the Spartans. And a good punt by Thomason there. And it's going to go out of bounds right about the 31, 32, 3, 4, 5, 35-yard line as the official walked up the sidelines. So that's where the Spartans will start.
We'll take a look here real quick as they spot the ball at some other scores locally. Lewis County leads Elkins 20-0 in the second quarter. You've got Lincoln all over Grafton, 21-0, that in the second quarter. Fairmont Senior is up 34-0 over Preston. That is also in the second quarter. And Work County leads Gilmer County 20-0 in the second quarter.
And a lot of those games are future Flying Eagle opponents. So here's Klein taking the handoff from Davis again. He's going to gain about 6 up over the left side.
With the stop for the Flying Eagles, did a really good job, but he's going to have to come out for a play. His helmet came off when he made that tackle. So Frum is going to come to the sidelines. And Logan McCartney is going to replace him on the defensive line.
So Klein under center. Correction, Davis under center. Gives to Klein, and it's going to be sniffed out immediately by the Eagle defense, hitting the backfield.
Yeah, really good job there by McMillan for the Flying Eagles. almost had a chance of taking the handoff rather than making the tackle. He was in the backfield. Right there. So it was a really manageable second down for the Spartans.
It's going to turn into 3rd and 7. Davis will be under center once again. Correction, he's in the shotgun now. He'll drop back looking to pass. Klein stays in to block, and he's going to have the pass caught and complete up to the 41-yard line, but that's going to be short of the first down.
Yeah, Latrell Jones out there in coverage for Robert C. Byrd did a really good job of, after the receiver made the catch, of forcing him out of bounds and not letting him get up close to the first down marker.
And that may just have been a case of Greenbrier East not knowing where the first down was and not throwing to it.
Yeah, always frustrating as a coach when it's 3rd and 7 and you have a 5-yard route and your receiver runs 5 yards instead of 7 yards.
So the Spartans are going to take a timeout here. Circle the wagons. Well, they just announced that Byrd had taken the timeout, but they signaled that the Spartans took the timeout. At least the official did. So as they sort things out here and get ready to finish the second quarter, we'll step away and be right back after these messages.
It's got 75 yards.
Welcome back to Robert C. Byrd High School, Robert C. Byrd Stadium. Spartans looking at a 4th and 4. Will elect to kick the ball. Dotson handling the duties for the Spartans with the punt. Thomason back deep for the Flying Eagles. Here's the snap back. Clean snap. Good kick. End over end, and it's going to bounce to the left, and it's going to go out of bounds right about the 31-yard line. So Thomason did not have an opportunity to even touch the ball there.
Yeah, really low kick. Did take a Greenbrier East bounce after it hit. Really no chance for Tomlinson to make a catch and return on that one there.
And, Jonathan, kicking is such a specialty. We'll call it a difficult skill to master. You don't see a lot of really, really good kickers here in the state of West Virginia because they just simply don't have the time to practice.
Yeah, you lose and win football games at the college level and in the NFL on the kicking game. So you can definitely lose them in the high school game. And like you said, it's very hard to come across good kickers.
Yes, and it's not just field goals and extra points, but it's also field position when you punt and you kick off. So here is a designed run around the right side, by Nick George, and he's going to take a shot, and a penalty flag is going to be thrown. And that was Klein laying the hit on Nick George.
Yeah, really good job by George on that fake handoff and to keep the ball. Nobody knew where he was at, and he took a shot. We'll see what the official calls here.
Doesn't appear that Klein did anything illegal, just a good hit.
Well, he did lead. He did look like he led with the crown of his head and kind of, it's a big emphasis in this day and age in football for the defender to be able to see what you're hitting. You want to keep your head up. And it looked like at the last second it was good, but Klein kind of dipped his head and kind of really didn't make any helmet contact with George, but he did kind of lead with the crown of his helmet. So here's the call.
And I believe they called that on number 14, but it was clearly number 21, Klein, that hit him.
Yeah, not sure And I don't believe there is any targeting in high school.
No.
So even if he did lead, he would not be ejected from the game. But it does tack on 15 yards of what was already a nice run by the Flying Eagles offense.
So it'll be a 1st and 10. Ball's at the 43 with the penalty. George back in the shotgun, calls for the ball, and we're going to have another penalty, and it looks like it's going to be illegal procedure or motion. And that's the 4th pre-snap penalty on the Eagles tonight. And that's just something that they frankly have to clean up.
Yeah, that was they called that on Gale Adams, and really I think Gale was the center, or correct me if I'm wrong, actually he was the guard.
So it's going to be a 1st and 10. Ball's at the 43. Actually, it's going to be 1st and 15 with the penalty. So here's a handoff to Jones, and he stopped immediately.
Yeah, good tackle there. A host of Greenbrier East defenders. Looked like Samuel Wright was the first one to make contact with Jones.
So it's going to be 2nd and 15. Ball's at the 49-yard line. George in the shotgun, sends a man in motion. That's Losky repositioning to the left side. And here's a pitch out to Jones. And he's going to be tackled in the backfield by number 11, Davis, and a penalty flag is thrown. So we'll see what the infraction is.
Davis.
But a really nice tackle by Davis.
Yeah, Davis read that 100%, came down all the way from his cornerback position to make a really nice tackle. We'll see what the penalty is. Looks like it's going to go against Robert C. Byrd, as the official's trying to ask Coach Lee if he wants to accept it or decline it.
So it's going to be an illegal block below the waist against the Flying Eagles. And the Spartans are going to decline it, and that's going to bring up 3rd down. It's one of those iffy penalties, a ball resting at midfield. Do you take the penalty in the yardage, or do you take the down since there was a loss on the down?
Yeah. You could probably poll every high school coach in the state, and I bet you it would probably end up being a 50-50 answer either way.
And just as we say that, it looks like they are going to take the penalty. So that'll back the Eagles up 15 yards. That's probably what I would have done, because that helps change field position.
Very true, very true. I do agree. I, however, would have taken the loss of downs because of the outstanding deep ball threat of Bryce Byrd early in this season. He really hasn't been targeted a lot tonight, but at any moment we've seen him make some spectacular catches this year.
Yes, great start to the season. So here's George back with the snap, and it passes across the middle just a little bit behind Thomason.
Yeah, Weston Pence was there in coverage for Greenbrier East, and George, again, is a really tight window trying to fit that ball into.
And George has not had the time to throw tonight that he's had in the other 2 previous games.
No, Greenbrier East has brought some pressure right there. They brought their middle linebacker right in the A-gap and forced George to throw that ball a little quicker than what he wanted to.
So it's going to be 3rd and forever. Actually, it's only 34-yard lines for the Eagles, but the ball is at the 32-yard line. So we'll see what the play call is here. Obviously going to be a passing down. Here's George, and now he's just going to keep it. And he's going to rumble for about 2 or 3 yards up the middle. So a good, safe play there, I guess.
Yeah, not too many plays are drawn up for a gain of 34.
So Thomason will punt for the Flying Eagles. Number 13, Lucas McAllister, will handle the return duties for the Spartans.
And it looks like Greenbrier East is going to take a timeout. And I wouldn't be anxious if they come after this here. And maybe that's why Coach Lee called that timeout.
They have been getting good penetration, and I noticed on the last punt that they had 2 guys come off the right side, and they got relatively close to Thomason on the kick. So that may be exactly what they're planning.
And the last punt was the best snap of all, but also on the previous snaps, they've all been low, and Thomason's really had to go down. And he's done a good job of getting the ball and getting it back up and getting the kick away. So maybe that's something Coach Lee reason for calling a timeout, seeing if they can maybe bring some pressure here.
Yes.
So taking a look real quick, we'll look at some team stats real quick. Total offense, Greenbrier East in favor, 124 total yards to Robert C. Bird's 77. They've also controlled the time of possession, 9:25 in favor of the Spartans to 5:03 for the Flying Eagles. Rushing yards, 13 carries for 102 yards for Greenbrier East, 12 carries for 36 yards for Robert C. Bird. Both teams have completed 3 passes. Greenbrier East has 22 passing yards, while Robert C. Bird has 41.
And that time of possession statistic is really hurtful to the Eagles if they can't get their passing game going, which they haven't been able to. So here's a snap back and a punt by Thomason, and that's probably his best kick of the year, I would say. And it's going to hit at about the 20 and roll down inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. So a good kick there for Thomason.
Yeah, really good kick there. And if you notice, Greenbrier East, they brought some pressure off the left side. The last couple plays, Tomlinson, he doesn't really do the rugby style, but I've noticed he likes to move to his right to kick it. So they brought some pressure for him to kind of eliminate him doing that. I couldn't imagine that Coach Lee would think Robert C. Bird's going to run a fake on 4th and 34, but just to be safe, maybe to see if they could get something there. But a really good job by Tomlinson.
Yes. And he's one that you get the idea that if he had about a month to work solely on kicking, that he could really be really effective, be very effective. So here's the Spartans. Davis in the shotgun. He's going to keep the ball. Nice hole opens up, but it closes quickly, and he's going to be brought down for about only a gain of 1. So what looked to be a really good play initially kind of shut down in a hurry.
Yeah, really good job there by Ty Drake. We've said his name a lot tonight. We've said his name a lot on the season for the Flying Eagles.
Yes.
But he will now have to come out after making that tackle. His helmet came off.
So they'll give him 3, 2nd and 7, balls at the 16. Davis in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right. And here's a little pitch decline around the right side. And he's going to be met at the 20-yard line. And he rumbles forward to about the 25, 4-yard line. So after the initial contact, makes a nice hit on the defender and keeps him bounds.
Yeah, Bryce Bird's going to get credit with that tackle, and that was with that little touch pass there. So that will go as a pass for Davis.
And Davis will be happy with that. So the Spartans do pick up the first down. And here's a fake handoff to Klein, and Davis is going to keep it, and he's going to go around the right side. And he's still on his feet. It looks like he stepped out of bounds, but he remains on his feet, and he's going to have another Spartan first down.
Yeah, McMillan there is going to get credit for the tackle. It looked to me like there was a late face mask. There is no penalty, or as I say that, there's a penalty flag now down on the 30-yard line.
You spoke too soon.
So I'm not sure. It's kind of in a weird spot. I'm not sure if they saw that.
So it is going to be an illegal block. Backs the Spartans up 10 yards. So it's going to be about 1st and 16. Ball's at the 19-yard line. And here's Davis looking back to pass, and he's got pressure. He eludes 2 men in the backfield. Makes another nice move, eludes a 3rd man, but he's not going to get away from Bryce Bird, who wrestles him out of bounds. So a really nice job by Davis right there to elude 3 different tacklers on that play.
Yeah, and there is a flying eagle down at the right around the 5-yard line. That looks like George, and that's not a good sign.
No.
So again, good job by Robert C. Byrd getting pressure on Davis.
Yes.
Just they couldn't come up with the tackle. And me, if I'm Davis, that plays into my strength. I've been able to show elusiveness all night and making something out of nothing with my legs.
Yes.
So, but if you're Robert C. Byrd, you've got to make that tackle in the backfield. 2 defenders. He made 2 defenders miss and really did a nice job.
And that is Nick George, who's the injured player, and he's going to come off.
Looks like he's limping maybe just a little bit.
He looks to be okay as he gets a pat on the helmet from his assistant coach, Teague Wagner. So it's quarterback on quarterback there for just a second, and we'll say that Monquel Davis won that battle.
Yeah.
Of course, if it was a push-in or a wrestling match, I'd take George.
Yeah, George is definitely the bigger of the 2 quarterbacks at 6'3", 235 to Davis, 5'9", 160. However, if it's a 40-yard dash, I might take Davis.
I would definitely take Davis. No offense to Nick.
No, because Nick's got some wheels.
Yes. Yes. Nick moves well for his size. So it's 1st and 10. Ball at the 38 for the Spartans. Man in motion. Fake handoff, and we're going to have another flag down.
And that's a different quarterback for Greenbrier East. That is number 17, Gavin Bennett. So I don't know if that was something by design, which actually works out in favor for Robert C. Byrd for that false start there.
And it could have been that Davis just needed a breather after that last play he ran.
Yes, he is over there on the far side with his helmet off. He is not being seen by any of the training staff, so he may just need a rest.
That's a good sign. So here's a pass by Bennett falling incomplete.
Yeah, he was looking to try and get it to McAllister, a little screen pass. Bird's defense did a good job of sniffing that out, and another good job of getting pressure up front. And it looks like Davis is now going to come back into the ballgame.
He'll face a 2nd and 15. Ball's at the 33-yard line for the Spartans. 3:41 left here in the second half from Clarksburg.
Get that on a T-shirt.
So here's a snapback, and Davis is going to launch it deep. He's got Klein downfield. Klein hauls it in, and he is going to run into the end zone just out of the reach of number 1 Jones, who tried to bring him down from behind. So a nice pass all the way downfield for the Spartans.
Yeah, really nice pitch and catch there from Davis to Klein. Klein just out. There was really 2 defenders there for Robert C. Byrd. Klein just kind of split them and outran the 2 defensive backs for Robert C. Byrd. And he makes a great catch.
And he does. Nice over-the-shoulder catch. Probably deceptive speed. You know, they've been punished in the backfield in the run game by Klein all night. They don't really expect him maybe to have that speed, but he does. So Dotson will be on to attempt the PAT for the Spartans, and he puts it through the uprights for Greenbrier East. So that's going to make your score 14-0 in favor of the Spartans from Robert C. Byrd High School. We'll take a short break and be back after these messages.
He said he loved you.
Back here at Robert C. Byrd High School, 14-0. The Eagles on the losing end. So the Spartans have come up 79 tonight with a game plan. Let's run the ball, and they mean business.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job of establishing the run here early. They've got 226 rushing yards on the ground on 128 rushing yards on 16 carries.
And then, of course, Klein adding to his total numbers overall with that last TD reception. So Byrd will try to get something going here, and they'll hand it off to Jones, and he'll push up the middle for a gain of about 3.
Good job there for Jones, squeaking through 2 would-be tacklers for Greenbrier East before finally being brought down by Dowdy.
Give him about 2 on the carry, maybe 3. So here's George in the shotgun again. Calls for the snap. It's a handoff to Jones, and Jones is going to break around the left side. A nice hole developing. He's going to be just shy of the marker, gain of about 4.
Klein and Pence there combined to make the stop. Really good block there by the tight end up man, Nathan Lotsky, to spring Jones right there.
And it seems like we get a good block and we get a good start to our running play, but then those linebackers and cornerbacks and DBs for the Spartans are quick, and they get in there and they close the play down.
And another thing, Byrd hasn't done a really good job of completing a whole lot of passes down the field tonight.
Right.
So Greenbrier East, that really are coming up a lot sooner.
So here's a 3rd and 3, and the Eagles are not going to pick that up. A little bit of miscommunication or maybe just poor execution in the backfield. That was Lotsky with the handoff. He tried to go around the right side, but nothing doing, and there's going to be a loss of about 2 on the play. That will bring up 4th down again for the Flying Eagles.
Yeah, a lot of penetration there on that play for Greenbrier East. And that play did not look like it was going to go anywhere from the start. So Greenbrier East is going to take a timeout, and we'll take a look real quick at some scores. Bridgeport leads John Marshall 28-14. That's at the break. Phillip Barber, Buchanan Upshur are knotted at 7-all in the second quarter. Capel Midland all over Capital 21-0 in the first quarter. Hurricanes all over George Washington 26-7 in the second quarter. Looking at some other scores, Fairmont Senior all over Preston 34-0. That is also in the second quarter. Roane County, Clay County, they are still tied at 0 in the first quarter. Hedgesville leads East Fairmont 14-7 in the second quarter. Lewis County up big over Elkins 33-0. That is at the break.
And Elkins is our opponent next week for the Flying Eagles.
And Lincoln all over Grafton 34-0 in the second. And Point Pleasant, who Greenbrier East lost in week 1, leads Mingo Central 14-0 in the first quarter.
So Thomason back to punt for the Eagles. Here's a snap back. Thomason with a nice kick, and it's going to drive the returner back. He corrals the ball at about the 30-yard line. It's going to come up to the right side and be pushed up at about the 40-yard line. Was McAllister there?
Yeah, good job there by McAllister. Really a great job to field that punt. That was a really awkward kick punt there from Tomlinson. And we'll see what Greenbrier East tries to do here.
And this is going to be dangerous territory or a dangerous time for Robert C. Byrd. They don't want to go down 21-0 the way Greenbrier East has been able to run the ball tonight. Joining us at halftime will be Eric Post, the Robert C. Byrd athletic director and assistant principal here. So you'll want to stay tuned for that interview. So Davis in the shotgun sends Klein, correction, that's McAllister in motion. He's back to pass, and now he's going to scramble. He's going to look downfield, and he's got Klein again across the middle on a broken play at about the 47-yard line of the Flying Eagles.
And Davis has done a really good job all night of eluding that first initial pressure. And that time he did a good job keeping his eyes downfield and completing a pass.
Yeah. Nice job of scrambling. So that stops the clock momentarily. Clock's inside of 1:20 now to go. Here is Klein in motion, and they're going to swing the pass out to Klein again. He's looked like open field initially, but he's brought down just about a gain of 1. That looked like it was going to develop into a nice play.
Yeah, really good job there by Wyatt Minor. He actually tipped that ball, and I think that's what held Klein up because there was a lot of room right there. If you see Wyatt
Yes, he did.
He got his big paw up there to swat that. Good job by Klein for still bringing it in.
And while Klein has good speed and he's a tough runner, he doesn't seem to have that quick start or that quick momentum, that quick first step.
No, which is good in some instances and also bad in some instances.
So here's a design run by Davis, and he's going to get the first down to the Eagle 30-yard line.
That was Hunter Jackson, the cornerback out there for the Flying Eagles defense.
So Bird in dangerous territory here. 33 seconds to go. Clock a factor. But Greenbrier East looking to drive and put another touchdown on the board. Here's a pass to Klein in the boundary. Klein's just going to run upfield. The pass was caught well behind the line of scrimmage, but Klein's going to pick up close to 15 yards.
And that was actually McAllister.
Correction, McAllister, thank you.
And Bird and Jackson combined to make the stop. So Greenbrier East took their last time out now.
15 seconds left on the clock here at Robert C. Byrd Stadium. Ball's going to be spotted at the 14-yard line of the Flying Eagles. So no doubt you're going to see Klein touch the ball here and possibly Davis scramble some. Of course, as soon as we say that, the coaches might be thinking that, and they're going to sneak somebody else in there.
Yeah, I would be very shocked if we don't see Klein touch the ball here. But at the same time, he's been really elusive and had a really good game all night. So, Coach Lee and the staff could be thinking, let's use Klein as a decoy because they've had some other players make some plays in McAllister. And the other big option is if you bring pressure on Davis, he's done a good job of eluding that pressure all night. So you don't want to bring too much pressure and really open up those running lanes for him.
And the Spartans have done a nice job of getting the ball to Klein in different ways. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Spartans. Here's a snap back, and there's a fumble by Davis, but he picks it up, and he's going to run straight upfield, and he's going to be tackled and brought down at about the 11-yard line.
And the Greenbrier East they're going to try and clock it. And there's going to be a flag. The far looked like tight end or tackle was not set when they snapped that ball.
So if that's the call, most likely it'll be against the Spartans, and that will end the half. Which it does.
Good call.
So Robert C. Byrd getting lucky there and avoiding a 21-0 hole here at halftime. So the band from Robert C. Byrd getting ready to perform. Your score once again, the Spartans from Greenbrier East 14 and the Robert C. Byrd Eagles 0. We'll take a break, hear some news and some messages from the Harrison County School System, and be back and talk with Robert C. Byrd Assistant Principal and Athletic Director, Mr. Eric Post, after these messages.
County Schools has a long-standing tradition of providing outstanding educational opportunities for its students. Comprised of 24 schools, our district serves the needs of pre-K through 12th grade students throughout Harrison County. Providing a safe, supportive learning environment for all, we offer a well-planned, comprehensive curriculum designed to meet the needs of every student at every grade level. The elementary curriculum emphasizes core subjects augmented by music, art, health, integrated technology offerings, and physical education. Middle school students are introduced to programs, career counseling, and coursework that will help them make the transition to high school. Our high schools offer a broad and challenging curriculum to meet diversified needs and prepare our students for future careers or post-secondary education. Advanced placement honors, as well as dual credit partnerships, are available through local universities. Healthy Grand Families is a free initiative to provide information and resources to grandparents who are raising grandchildren. Healthy Grand Families is a partnership with Harrison County Schools, Family Services, Harrison County, and United Way. Harrison County Schools, where all are leaders and all are learners.
Back here live at Clarksburg with the score, Robert C. Byrd 0 and the visiting Spartans from Greenbrier East 14. Joining me now in the booth is assistant principal at Robert C. Byrd High School and athletic director and graduate of Robert C. Byrd High School, Mr. Eric Post. And Eric, I've known you a long time. We've taught together at Robert C. Byrd for probably going on 10, 11 years, so we're just going to keep this very informal, and it's almost like we're going to be talking to each other just as we would at school or wherever.
John, you're trying to hide your age. I think it's been about 15 or 16 since we've been together, right?
Well, if it is, that's okay, because that just means I'm much closer to retirement.
Oh, there you go. One day at a time. Hey, how about that stop right before the half?
That was
Huge
great.
Stop right there,
That was
man.
great.
We'll be all right in the second half.
Yeah.
I got faith in us.
Yes. Coach Gurrell and his staff will go in and make some adjustments and hopefully come out and make it a close game in the second half. So let's talk about what we're doing right now. You have put together this stream, which our listeners are watching and listening to right now, called the RCBSN Network. Talk about that.
Robert C. Byrd Streaming Network, because we do more than just sports. Hey, it's been really a great ride. When COVID happened, we made it a priority because people couldn't see games. It was kind of funny when I became the athletic director in November of 2020, and we had a playoff game against Elkins, and that was the first playoff game that I had seen that year. I literally hadn't seen our team at all, because if you weren't family, you weren't getting into games then. So when basketball season was coming around, I knew we were going to have a great team, and it was going to be Coach Bennett's last year, so I wanted to make sure that everybody could possibly get to see it. And luckily, the county office, we got full support from them right away. We were able to get one of those huddle cameras, and we've grown since then. And I know it's funny when you watch a stream or something like that, you just sit back and enjoy it. The amount of work that goes into it is it's hours and hours, and we've been lucky. We've got support from Dora Stutler from the very beginning, and David Oliveria in the county office has been a lot of help, and Todd Poole, another guy in the county office, unsung hero. He really got us going out here. It was a struggle even just getting internet in the press box. This is a place we'd never had internet, so really a lot of shout-outs. And Mr. Gibson has been fantastic. He supported me the whole time. From the very beginning, I walked in and I told him I want to make this a priority as soon as I got the job, and he was all for it. And we've been lucky. We've been getting boosters to put finances behind it and try to give the best product we had, because I think our community deserves it.
And I take no credit for this operation. I had nothing to do with the setup. You came to me, asked me if I wanted to do the play-by-play. I'm happy to do it. And the people you mentioned there a minute ago, they're the ones that were instrumental in getting this started and developing this. So kudos to them once again.
Absolutely. And I'm really proud, too, of what we've done actually opened up the other schools, because the board got behind it. And the Harrison County Board of Education gave us money and gave other schools money, so we're able to stream all around the country, all around the county now, and I think it's a very important thing for our whole area.
And unlike radio, which you have to have for these games because so many people are used to listening to it, you can listen anywhere and watch the game anywhere. And how important is that for your alma mater, your graduates of Robert C. Byrd?
I've had so many people reach out that hadn't been to a game in 20 years, and now they can watch their cousins, they can watch their neighbors, they can watch their friends' kids. play, and it's huge. It's huge all over. I had to laugh when we first started streaming. A longtime ticket taker and longtime RCB teacher, Sherry Kaplan, went to the beach. She had a beach trip lined up, and she sent me a picture from her hotel room, and there she was watching our basketball game. We had, I think, a regional basketball game, and she was sitting in her hotel room watching us, and to me, that's great.
That is great. And it's not only football and basketball, it's all sports. I remember watching a volleyball game, I think, one time, softball, baseball.
Oh, yeah. Softball, baseball, we a lot of hard work with that last year. We were able to get a little bit of internet out there and threw a couple extra cameras towards the end, and to me, I was told by multiple people that we had a better stream than what the state was having from the SSAC. Hope they don't quote me on that one, but yeah, we've been very, very proud of the support that we've got from everybody and what our community has given to us.
Now,
here.
with your duties as athletic director, which we know are numerous, how do you have time to be the assistant principal and take care of those students?
There's never a break. It's one thing to the next. That's one thing. Mr. Gibson and Dr. Looker, they are fantastic to work with, and they can keep me on task when I start veering off and maybe getting a little too worried about making graphics. They can get me on the right track to doing assistant principal work too.
And you're obviously an RCB grad.
Yes.
And the year
20
is
years.
20 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
2002. We had our 20-year reunion this past year. Had at Jackson Square. It was great.
So the question I posed to Dr. Looker last week was, what is the difference, or what do you notice between being a student, as she was and you were, and the teachers that you had and the teachers now that you are, frankly, their boss?
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah, it's been interesting. There were teachers that I had in the school that are still on staff now. That's pretty funny. No, as a student, you don't realize how much work goes into the job. I think that's one thing that was eye-opening when I became a teacher, too. And the hours that teachers put into and the dedication that they have is just it's above and beyond. And you have no idea behind the scenes when you're just going to class and showing up. You have no idea the hours it takes and the preparation it takes. So that was probably the biggest eye-opener when I first got into education, just seeing what everybody does behind the scenes to get ready for a school day.
And this sounds like a parent, but we worry about these kids. We are concerned about them because we have such a diverse population.
Absolutely.
Here at Robert C. Byrd.
Well, when the school's going well, the community goes well, and I think we see it now. In the last couple of years, our community, we've been fighting through COVID, and I think we're making it through. And, man, I tell you what, the atmosphere the last couple of these games has been fantastic. The community support has been fantastic. Teaching-wise, we've had more teachers volunteer for games now than I can ever remember. I mean,
and you need that.
We need it. And I told him, we actually talked about at the beginning of the school year how great it is to get your face out. They know you care about the kids when they see you at ball games. And our staff's been fantastic. This is the best I think I've seen with it. Of course, a lot of our staff now, I think 33% are either Byrd, RW, or WI grads now.
Yes.
So.
And I noticed they are getting younger year by year, which helps, too, with the turnover.
Oh, it's so neat when you had somebody in school and then all of a sudden they're teaching there.
And
Cool.
And it is important to take that holistic approach as a teacher to get out and watch the kids that you have in class in extracurricular activities. And believe me, do they notice that?
Oh, absolutely. That was when I first got in teaching, probably 2007 or something like that when I first taught up here. Mr. Pig and Mr. Paluski both came to me and they said, hey, the best thing for classroom management is to get out and go to ball games and go to band events and that kind of stuff and let the kids know that you care. Because once they know you care, they'll listen to you. And that rings true to this day, and I think our school's doing a great job about it.
Yeah, that's your administration's philosophy, is establish with the relationship with the student, and then you have them. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And community support has been great the last few years, too. I think we've seen a big uptick in it. And I've been great at recruiting my friends and family, too. I'm not going to lie. I got to give a shout-out to my in-laws, Richie and Carla Compton. They were Liberty parents, and all three of their kids, my wife, they're all Liberty people, and they've bought in. I think they're here almost as much as I am at events, selling T-shirts and stuff.
Yes.
And I've had Richie do play-by-play and be on the chain gang on the sidelines. So I mean,
yeah, he's pulled multiple duties already.
He's pulled multiple duties. I've put my father-in-law to work for doing a lot of things. So.
Well, I know he has reaped the rewards of that because I did see see him eating a nice slice of pizza tonight before the game.
Oh, Vito's, huh? Another Clarksburg
Vito's,
staple.
yes, there you
Gotta
go.
have Vito's.
Vito's.
That was great.
If you come to Clarksburg and you don't have Vito's pizza, you're going to have to come back.
Yeah, and if you're anybody out there that's from out of state right now, next time you come in, make sure you swing by. Old Tony will hook you up down there.
Great. Well, Eric, it's been great talking to you here at halftime. We'll let you go and get back to your duties.
Well, thank you very much. And remember, tomorrow morning we've got soccer, 9:30 and 11:30. The smooth sounds of Steve Kennedy, our 2002 valedictorian, who comes back, volunteers, and works about every single event we have. And it's going to be, I think, play-by-play with him is going to be Ian McCara. So a little international
nice.
flavor tomorrow for our
yes.
soccer stream. So we look forward. Hopefully you guys tune in tomorrow.
All right, Mr. Post, thank you once again for joining us at halftime.
All right, thank
evening.
you, and let's score about 3 touchdowns for the second half.
There we go. So that was Mr. Eric Post, the athletic director at Robert C. Byrd High School and assistant principal, joining us to talk about his duties, the stream, and the other things going on here in the community and at Robert C. Byrd. So once again, your score at halftime, the Eagles down 14, looking to make a comeback in the second half here against the Greenbrier East Spartans. We'll take a couple messages and be back after this.
County Schools has a long-standing tradition of providing outstanding educational opportunities for its students. Comprised of 24 schools, our district serves the needs of pre-K through 12th grade students throughout Harrison County. Providing a safe, supportive learning environment for all, we offer a well-planned, comprehensive curriculum designed to meet the needs of every student at every grade level. The elementary curriculum emphasizes core subjects augmented by music, art, health, integrated technology offerings, and physical education. Middle school students are introduced to programs, career counseling, and coursework that will help them make the transition to high school. Our high schools offer a broad and challenging curriculum to meet diversified needs and prepare our students for future careers or post-secondary education. Advanced placement honors, as well as dual credit partnerships, are available through local universities. Healthy Grand Families is a free initiative to provide information and resources to grandparents who are raising grandchildren. Healthy Grand Families is a partnership with Harrison County Schools, Family Services, Harrison County, and United Way. Harrison County Schools, where all are leaders and all are learners. County Schools has a long-standing tradition of providing outstanding educational opportunities for its students. Comprised of 24 schools, our district serves the needs of pre-K through 12th grade students throughout Harrison County. Providing a safe, supportive learning environment for all, we offer a well-planned, comprehensive curriculum designed to meet the needs of every student at every grade level. The elementary curriculum emphasizes core subjects augmented by music, art, health, integrated technology offerings, and physical education. Middle school students are introduced to programs, career counseling, and coursework that will help them make the transition to high school. Our high schools offer a broad and challenging curriculum to meet diversified needs and prepare our students for future careers or post-secondary education. Advanced placement honors, as well as dual credit partnerships, are available through local universities. Healthy Grand Families is a free initiative to provide information and resources to grandparents who are raising grandchildren. Healthy Grand Families is a partnership with Harrison County Schools, Family Services, Harrison County, and United Way. Harrison County Schools, where all are leaders and all are learners.
Clarksburg. The Eagles in a hole, 14-0. Just about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go to the start of the second half. So both teams hampered a bit by penalties in the first half. Robert C. Byrd really couldn't get anything going in the run game or the passing game. And late in the late in the first quarter, early in the second half, Greenbrier East began to develop that ground game behind Klein and some nifty footwork from their quarterback, Davis, and they have staked themselves to a 14-0 lead here.
Yeah, really methodical running attack by Greenbrier East. I thought they did a good job of kind of lulling Bird's defense to sleep and took some advantages of making some big plays there in the second quarter. Taking a look real quick at team stats as my computer wants to load. Here we go. So 28 total plays for Greenbrier East. They've got 274 total yards of offense. Robert C. Birds ran 23 plays for 82 total yards. Time of possession Bird has closed the gap on that, but it's still in favor of the Spartans at 11:36 to 10:33. Greenbrier East has ran the ball 18 times for 143 yards. Birds ran it 15 times for 41 yards. Completions, this is where it kind of gets really big in favor of Greenbrier East, and most people would not suspect that. Greenbrier East is 8 of 10 for 131 passing yards, while Robert C. Byrd is 3 of 8 for 41 passing yards. Another big discrepancy is first down. Greenbrier East has 12 first downs. The Robert C. Byrd Flying Eagles have just 2. And right now, third downs, neither team's great. However, Greenbrier East has only faced 3 of them. They're 1 for 3 for 33%, while Robert C. Byrd is 0 for 5 on third downs. Both teams have been flagged 6 times each, both for a total of 45 yards. Some individual leaders real quick. Davis, the QB for Greenbrier East, is 8 of 9 for 131 yards and a touchdown. Ian Klein has 10 carries, 75 yards and a touchdown. Also has 4 receptions for 93 yards and a touchdown reception. Nick George, 3 of 8 for the Robert C. Byrd Flying Eagles for 41 yards. He has 5 carries for 26 yards, and Bryce Byrd has 1 reception for 35 yards.
So the Flying Eagles definitely going to have to get the offense in gear here. Both teams came out late onto the field, so they put 3 minutes back up on the clock, or 3 additional minutes on the clock. And we've seen that last week and the week before, where the teams come out very late in the second half, so they may need to start putting 25 minutes on the halftime clock.
Yeah, I'm not sure because the band was well off the field
Yes.
when the teams could take the field. Neither team came out. So, again, for the second week in a row, now we are some extra warm-up time for both teams.
Yes. Once again, we want to thank Mr. Eric Post for joining us at halftime and talking about Robert C. Byrd. Also want to thank our producer tonight, David Oliverio. Let's check some more scores from around the state as we wait on the second half here.
So looking, Bridgeport up 28-14 at halftime over John Marshall. Philip Barber and Buchanan Upshur tied at 7 apiece. That's in the second quarter. You've got Clay County is up over Roane County. Both teams are 2-0 in that one. Clay leads Roane 18-14 in the second quarter. Hedgesville leads East Fairmont 14-7. That's at halftime. Lewis County all over Elkins 33-0. That's who Byrd has next week on the road. You have Lincoln all over Grafton 34-0 at halftime. Logan leads Wayne 21-7. Work County all over Gilmer County 40-6. And Hurricane leads George Washington 33-7. Jefferson leads Musselman 20-14. Oak Hill and Princeton are knotted at 7 apiece in the second quarter. Fairmont Senior AA leads Preston 34-0. Lincoln County leads Ripley 6-0. Riverside all over St. Albans 35-12 in the second. And University leads Brook 22-0. That is also in the second quarter. And a big one tomorrow, Park South, who got off to a great start this year, they play Woodrow Wilson. Both teams are 2-0, and that is a rare Saturday kick for high school football.
Yes, yes. Most of the games in West Virginia played on Friday nights, Friday night football.
Friday night lights.
Friday night lights. So the lights on here at Robert C. Byrd Stadium. Getting ready to start the second half. Greenbrier East kicked off to start the game, so they will receive the opening kickoff to get things underway here in the second half. So Thomason will handle the kicking duties. McAllister deep for the Spartans. And here's the kickoff from Thompson, and it's touched by an upback at about the 25-yard line. He backpedals and then runs upfield just a little bit to about the 27-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for the Spartans at that spot.
That was Grant Burdett, the return man for Greenbrier East.
Along with, yes.
Forced out by Bryce Byrd.
So Bryce Byrd getting in on a few tackles tonight also from the safety position. So we'll see if the Spartans elect to run the ball again with Klein, get him going, which I would imagine they'll try to do some of.
And a good job here pre-snap. Bryce Byrd noticed it. I just noticed it, that Davis, the quarterback, lined up wide.
Correct. And we have another quarterback in there. It's a handoff to Klein, and he's going to get about 8. Give him 8 on the play. And that was number 17, Gavin Bennett, at quarterback.
And we saw him in the first half there. He does have a completion.
They have changed it up a little bit tonight. He's going to stay in the game now. And Davis is split out to the left for the Spartans. So here's a snap back, and it's a handoff to Klein. He looks to go up the middle, but breaks it around the right side to about the 40. Runs over a couple of Eagles and stumbles down at about the 44-yard line.
Yeah, he was tackled there by Lotsky. Did a good job of closing in on Klein and eventually bringing him down, but not after he gets the first down.
And that'll move the sticks for Greenbrier East.
I will say we will see a heavy dose.
Yes.
of Klein for the Spartans here in this second half.
Snap back. Klein again takes a handoff up the middle. Nothing much doing there. Gain of about 2.
McMillan, the tackler for the Flying Eagles defense, and that's the third straight carry for Klein to start this third quarter.
It's going to be 2nd and 8 at the 45-yard line. Bennett still in at quarterback. He's going to drop back to pass, and he's going to look for Davis. He can't make it, but almost a near interception there for the Robert C. Byrd Eagle defense.
Yeah, that was Hunter Jackson right there. Almost had the interception.
Nice break on the ball by Jackson.
If he would have come down with that, there was nothing but green pastures ahead, and he was going to be heading into the end zone.
Bennett in the shotgun. Here's pressure by the Eagles, and the pass is complete downfield to Grant Burdett.
Cooley and McMillan combined to bring down Burdett for the Eagles.
So that'll move the chains again for the Spartans. Another first down. Nice job of scrambling there by Bennett.
Yeah, so, it's surprising to see a quarterback come in. We've seen Bennett earlier, but it's only been for 1 or 2 plays, and now, this is the 3rd, 4th, 5th straight play that Bennett's been in.
He'll stay in there, and here's a handoff to Klein. Klein breaks off the left side down to about the 39-yard line.
McMillan and Ian Gould there for the Flying Eagles. So McMillan's had him a nice night for the Flying Eagles defense.
Brings up a 2nd and 5. Ball resting at the 39-yard line of the Eagles. Bennett's still in there at QB in the shotgun. Handoff to Klein. Klein off the right side through a huge hole all the way down to about the 22-yard line where he's forced out of bounds by Cooley.
So Klein has seemed to get stronger and run harder as the night goes on.
It's what good running backs do. They get in there, they get lathered up. And Robert C. Byrd's got to do something to stop that run game at the Spartans right now. Here's a handoff to Klein again. He cuts up the middle with a nice little move. Still on his feet, and he's going to rumble into the end zone for another Spartan touchdown.
Just poor tackling there by the Flying Eagles defense. They had him several times. He just spun out of it and scampered into the end zone.
Looks like he was touched. Couldn't wrap up. Hit once, hit twice. Just bounces off those tacklers. Keeps his legs moving. Absorbs that first hit. And a nice run again by Klein. Bad snap is handled by the Spartans. And the field goal is good. Or, correction, the PAT is good, we'll say.
We saw
Dotson with the kick there.
We saw Bennett come into the game here for Davis, who Davis has played a really nice ball game at quarterback for Greenbrier East, going 8 of 9 for 130 yards and a touchdown. And, it's kind of surprising. I thought when they brought him into the game, him not being quite the dual threat that Davis looks like, you would think the Eagles could be able to kind of key more on Klein. However, really not on that drive at all.
Of course, from what Davis did in the first half, they split him out wide, and now the RCB coaching staff thinks, well, we got to deal with him. Are they going to throw him the ball? Because he is pretty elusive. And Bennett doing a nice job at QB of driving the team down the field for their third score to make it 21-0. So Dotson will kick off again for the Spartans. Thomason back deep to receive for the Eagles. Here's a run up in the kick. It's a much better kick, more air underneath it. And Thomason's going to come up and field the ball at about the 5-yard line. And he's going to break left. and be brought down at about the 20-yard line.
A host of Spartans there to bring him down. Not really a whole lot of running room there for Thomason on that return.
And Bird's got to get better blocking on that kickoff coverage or that kick return team. So they'll put the ball in play, 1st and 10 will the Eagles here. Rest at the 22-yard line. And it's likely that we're going to come out and throw the ball now down 21-0. And Nick George is going to do just that. And he's got Bryce Bird, a correction, that is Quentin Cooley with a diving attempt across the middle, but it falls incomplete. So he had him there, but the ball was just a little low again.
Yeah, Lucas McAllister was there in coverage. And that's now a couple balls that I'm sure Nick would like to have back. They've been kind of low. Really had him open there. Mm-hmm. Just kind of a low. Wasn't a whole lot of pressure. I'm sure Nick would like to have that one back.
Yes. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. And we're going to have a timeout called. And that'll be Robert C. Bird taking the timeout. That'll be their first of the half.
And again, not a timeout if you're Robert C. Bird wanting to take here early in the third, because if you've got any chance of trying to make this a game and come back, you're going to need those timeouts because the clock's going to be against you now for the rest of this game.
Yeah, definitely. You're behind the 8 ball now. Again, we see the Clarksburg Little Flying Eagles or Little Eagles handling the refreshment duties, the water bottles, doing a great job of that. They'll be future Bird students one day. Once again, 2nd and 10, balls at the 22-yard line for the Flying Eagles. Here's Nick George with an RPO and a pass across the middle, tipped by Lotsky and almost intercepted by Klein. Neither of them could get their hands on it.
Yeah, that ball was, again, behind Lotsky. Had him there. It was really behind Lotsky. Lotsky tried to make a really nice play on the ball, and fortunate for the Flying Eagles that it was not intercepted.
Yes. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 10 again for Robert C. Bird. They really need to pick up this first down. Here was George again looking downfield. And just again, he's just a little too wide with the ball off the hands of Thomason, who, if he'd have caught that, would have been gone.
Yeah, again, very, very similar to the play earlier that Nick missed Cooley on.
A nice designed play, just out of the reach of the receiver. So Thomason will handle the punting duties again. McAllister back for the Spartans. And a low driving kick by Thomason, fielded at about the 47 by McAllister, 37 correction. And he's going to weave in and out of the Eagle defense and rumble all the way down to the 30-yard line. And a game-saving tackle there by the Robert C. Byrd special teams.
Yeah, really good job. That's one of those kicks that can wreak havoc for your coverage team because it was low, was really quick for the return man to catch it, and he had a lot of green in front of him.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans, and it looks like Bennett's going to stay in at quarterback here. And maybe that's their plan, is to play Davis at quarterback the first half and then Bennett the second half. Maybe there's a quarterback battle going on, or that's just how they like to do things in Greenbrier County.
Taking a play out of Harbaugh in Michigan.
Here's a swing pass out to McAllister. He's going to be stopped right about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, really good job there by Nathan Losky to get out there and make the tackle for loss.
It's going to be a loss of about 3 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 13. And Greenbrier East in no rush to snap the ball here with a 21-0 lead and number 21 running the ball. There's Bennett back. He's going to find a wide-open Davis who makes the catch at about the 5-yard line and runs in the end zone. So that's exactly what we were talking about with Davis.
Yeah, a really good job. He's, from what we've seen, a really good athlete. Now we know he can definitely catch the ball.
Yeah.
And a nice ball there by Bennett.
Yeah.
Just outran the coverage there. That was Hunter Jackson, the cornerback for Robert C. Byrd, and Davis just sprinted by him.
He definitely got behind the defensive back there, Hunter. So here's the PAT by Dotson. And it splits the uprights, and that's going to make the score Greenbrier East 28, Robert C. Byrd nothing. 7:49 left to go in the third quarter. Well, let's take a break, and we'll be back after these messages. Back here at Robert C. Byrd High School, Greenbrier East 28, Robert C. Byrd nothing. 7:49 left to go in the third quarter. So Greenbrier East dominating in all categories tonight so far.
Yeah, especially offensively, 378 total yards to 82 for the Flying Eagles,
Yeah.
and just 2 first downs for Robert C. Byrd in this ball game.
So here's the kick all the way down to the 2 where it bounces. It's picked up by Thomason. He's going to have something on sort of a delay move, and he's going to bring the ball all the way out to the 25-yard line. Looked promising there for a second.
Yeah, good return there. Really, again, though, not a whole lot of blocking for him. He was tackled by Christian Jacobs of Greenbrier East, and I heard some whistles. I don't know if there's a flag down.
Yeah, I see a flag at about the 30.
There it is.
About the 27-yard line.
So most likely this is probably going to back the Eagles up even more, which is not what we need.
No. So holding's the call against the Flying Eagles.
They called that on number 69. However, I do not see a 69 on the roster. So maybe that was 68, Tristan Gilbert.
So that'll move the ball back to just inside the 15-yard line. That's where the Flying Eagles will start, 1st and 10. George back in the shotgun once again. Here's a fake handoff, and he's going to pass the ball downfield, intended for Cooley, and it's going to be intercepted by McAllister, who's going to bring the ball back inside the 20. Correction, that is
Pate
with the interception.
There is a flag down, but it was well after the interception.
And it looked to me like that could have been pass interference against Greenbrier East.
Yeah, it definitely looked like there was some contact there.
Yeah, officials just letting them play through.
Yeah, and really Robert C. Byrd had the advantage.
Yeah.
Because that was intended for Lotsky, the 6'4", 225-pound tight end, and he was in coverage was Pate, who's 5'5", 145. Advantage Lotsky.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the penalty is. is in the vicinity of the line of scrimmage. So probably most likely a hold or an illegal block after the interception.
And that happens on those change of possessions when the offense has to play defense and the defense has to play offense.
So a blindside block.
And that is going to go against the Spartans.
They called that on Jonathan Vine. So it is an interception, and it is a turnover.
So that'll back the ball up to the 35-yard line of the Eagles, and that's where the Spartans will start. So Nick George having a rough go of it tonight.
Yeah, coming off a really nice game last week. Like we said earlier, he threw for 317 yards, which was the 7th most in school history in a single game.
And Greenbrier East has gotten good pressure tonight, and Nick George has just missed on a couple of plays. He's just right there, but just not able to complete those. It's a game of inches.
And their record is very deceiving. I know they come
Yes.
in at 0-2, but they've played some pretty tough competition in Week 1 and Week 2.
That's what Coach Grell alluded to. So here's Bennett, still at quarterback with the pitch decline. He'll roll around the left side. He'll pick up the first down, just kind of scampering, taking his time, waiting for his blocks to develop.
Not a whole lot of pressure now or penetration from the Flying Eagles defense up front. There is a flag down now on the far sideline by the right around the 39-yard line.
So they're going to say it's a legal formation against the Spartans. That'll back the ball up once again. Ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. 15 yards for the first down for the Spartans now. And it does look like Bennett is indeed going to stay in quarterback, at least this quarter. So we got 4 wideouts, 1 running back. Here's the handoff to McAllister, straight up the middle with a good push. He's going to gain about 6, call it 7.
Jones and Frum combined to make the stop for the Eagles defense.
Here's the handoff to Klein. He's going to cut left and then cut it back up the middle. Going to be close to the first down, but short by about a yard. Bring up 3rd down.
Drake with the tackle.
Ball is going to be spotted at the 27-yard line.
And Greenbrier East is taking their good old time as
Yes.
Bennett runs over to the sideline to get the play and then comes and huddles with his teammates. So they are in no hurry.
No rush here. And here's a keeper by Bennett, first of the night, and he's going to scamper down to about the 13-yard line. So a nice little RPO, if you'll call it there. They've been used to seeing Klein get the ball, but that time Bennett kept it.
Yeah, forced out of bounds there by Jones. And, again, that's just, as a defensive player, and we talked about it earlier, football's so much more than just a physical game. It's also a mental game. And, again, that's one of those things where you've seen Bennett really not run a whole lot, especially design quarterback runs, and you've seen him hand that ball off to Klein. And that's just one of those ones where, hey, he sees an opening, pulls it, and is right there for the taking.
And that, I think, is Bennett's first designed run tonight.
He did have a scamper, but it was not a designed
Right.
quarterback run. So
first down and 10 at the 11. We're going to have a timeout by Greenbrier East. 5:49 left to go in the third quarter here from Robert C. Byrd High School. We'll take a break and be back after these messages. Back at Robert C. Byrd High School, just a little bit of confusion there on who took the timeout, but it was the Spartans indeed. Greenbrier East in complete control here tonight, looking to tack on another score. They'll go from the 11-yard line. And it looks like Davis is going to be back underneath center. He'll take the handoff, and he's going to give the ball to the running back around the left side, and he's going to scamper in for the touchdown, and that is Jake Pate. So, again, some deception there on the Greenbrier East offensive scheme.
And a really different, just totally look for the offense there for Greenbrier East. Came in under center, basically kind of had the up back and then two deep running backs, and it really caught Robert C. Byrd's defense off guard. They weren't prepared for that play at all.
And you would think they're going to run the ball up the middle there, and they elect to go outside. So Dotson puts the PAT through, and that's going to make it 35-0 in favor of the Spartans here at Robert C. Byrd High School. So the Spartans in complete control on this Friday night under the lights. We'll take a timeout and be back after these messages. Back at Clarksburg, John Griffin along with Jonathan Griffin, David Oliverio, our producer. The Spartans just giving it to the Eagles right now, returning the favor for last year. And here's the kickoff by the Spartans, and it's going to be fielded by Quentin Cooley picks it up, and he's going to be run out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. So last year, the Flying Eagles went down to Greenbrier East and were led by Jeremiah King, and they simply could not stop King, and they came out victorious. And Greenbrier East returning the favor this year, the Eagles have no answer for Klein, who was just running wild.
Yeah, Klein has been the workhorse for this Greenbrier East team here tonight, and Robert C. Byrd still looking for their first offensive yard of the second half.
So here's a pass downfield by Nick George, and it's going to be called incomplete, caught by Byrd, but he caught the ball out of bounds.
Take a look at this replay. It looked like it was a good catch, and it looked like he got a foot down, but he kind of lost the ball when he went out of bounds, and they're going to say he did not have possession.
And now Davis is down on the sidelines on the Robert C. Byrd sideline, I should say. Looks like cramps, which we had a lot of last week.
He is right in front of the Cool Zone fan, so he is.
It's a good place to be if you go down.
He's in no hurry to get up.
Bird's going to be in obvious passing situations and downs, probably for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it makes it very hard on your offense, and it's the advantage to the defense when you can become one-dimensional and try to make up some ground here by throwing the ball. But, however, you can do some different stuff, some delayed, draws and some swing passes and some screens to try and
get creative with
that and not, necessarily throw the go route every play. He is still down, and now he's up.
And it does look to be cramps. Still walking pretty gingerly.
Yeah, which, as we know now, luckily Bennett has
Yes.
come in and done a nice job, because if not, you hate to see that, as Davis had to really play the whole first half there at quarterback and had a really nice game for Greenbrier East. So they're going to try and venture him across the field, but it's going to
be a long
It's going to be a while.
And he's holding his right leg really stiff, which leads us to believe that it is nothing more than
Now
cramps.
he's hopping on his left leg and not trying to put any pressure on his leg that is cramping.
I was talking with the former Robert C. Byrd boys basketball coach, Bill Bennett, before the game, and he brought it to my attention that I believe your senior year, Jonathan, you went down to Greenbrier East and ended up winning that game against the Spartans. And I believe that game, if I remember correctly, was played in a little bit of a snowstorm.
It was one of the games later in the year in 2004. We went down there, played down there, came out victorious. Had some teammates when I played at Glenville State that played when I played football there, actually went to Greenbrier East and played with me at Glenville State.
So here's George again in a passing situation. Pressure, he fakes it, eludes the rush. He's going to rumble up the field very gingerly to the 50-yard line. So he may still be feeling some effects of that injury earlier on tonight.
Yeah. You could tell a good job by recognizing he didn't have anything. Had some pressure, pulled the ball down, got what he could, and got out of bounds.
So that'll give Robert C. Byrd a new set of downs. Ball resting, as I said, at the 50. Its nose just touching the 50. George in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looks downfield, and he's going to pass it out to the right to Latrell Jones. And Jones is going to be snaked out by the Spartan defense and brought down for a loss of 2.
Yeah, Van Fossen was there for Greenbrier East. He wasn't fooled at all.
Again, nice job by those Spartan linebackers and cornerbacks.
Yeah, good job. Again, we talked about it. Playing your keys and reading your keys is very important, especially on the defensive side. Because in all reality, the offense has the advantage because they know where they're going.
Right.
And defense, you're trying to react. So a good job there by the Greenbrier East defense.
So 2nd and 12, ball resting at the 48 now. Loss of 1, maybe 2. Here's a pass in the flat to, that's going to be Thomason. Gain of about 3 on the play. We'll bring up 2nd down, 3rd down, and 12.
So
give him 6 there.
A nice little pitch and catch there. And, again, George just taking what the Spartans' defense is allowing.
So Robert C. Byrd will look to keep the sticks moving here, picking up this 3rd and 6. Really important to do so here if they want to have any chance at mounting a comeback. George looking downfield. He's got a man across the middle, and it's just, again, off the receiver's fingertips. That was Cooley.
Yeah, again, that's the 3rd time they've ran that little slant route. And he's really had Cooley every time. McAllister was there, and he was in the best position of all 3 of those plays to make a play, but still that was a very catchable ball.
Yeah, and looking at it from our angle, it looks like it should have been caught. But if you're looking at it from Nick George's angle, that's a tight window to fit that ball in.
It's a very tight window. And, again, advantage now to the defense because when it's 3rd down and 6, you know, hey, Bird's going to come out and they're probably going to be throwing the ball.
So Bird will go for it here at the 46-yard line.
And they're going to take a timeout.
Confusion on the sidelines, and Bird's going to have to call another timeout. That'll be their 2nd of the half. So while they talk things over, we'll take a timeout and be back after these messages. So back to the action here at Robert C. Byrd High School. Byrd looking to pick up this 4th down conversion. 6 to go. Here's George back in the shotgun, and the pass is going to be complete just beyond the sticks to Cooley for the first down. So a nice job there by the Eagles to pick up that first down.
Yeah, McAllister with the tackle. And a really nice design play right there. They kind of used, I believe that was Bryce Byrd as a decoy and ran him deep on a go route. Both defensive backs went with him, and they just kind of slipped Cooley underneath and got enough for the first down.
So good play design there by the Robert C. Byrd coaching staff. Ball be spotted at the 34-yard line. Be 1st and 10 for the Flying Eagles. Knocking on the door. Again, in a passing situation. And George does indeed drop back to pass. He's got a man down the sidelines, just out of the reach of Cooley again.
Correction, that was Byrd.
Byrd, correction. Thank you.
So really, up until this point all season, the connection between George and Bryce Byrd has been there. This has been really the first game where they really haven't connected on a deep pass.
Right.
It's either been underthrown, overthrown, or Bryce hasn't been able to quite pull that ball in.
Yeah. 2nd down, 10. Ball's at the 34 still. George in the shotgun. Same play down the sideline, and he overshoots him by more this time.
And that was Tomlinson.
Intended for Thompson, yeah. So that pass a couple yards over his head, but the same exact play design. Brings up 3rd and 10. And you might question those 2 shots at the end zone in a row, but you're going to have to take those types of plays and shots at the end zone if you're going to get back in this thing with 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
And you've also looking at it as it's probably 4-down territory from here on out the rest of the game.
Yeah. So here's a little swing pass out to Thomason in the flat. He's going to make a nice move. He's going to cut inside the 30, and he's going to be down close to the first down marker, and it's going to be right at the marker. So we'll see what the officials do, whether they decide to give it to him, and they do. So the ball's going to be at the 24-yard line.
Another good play design.
Yes.
By the Flying Eagles, and Klein, who we've called a lot on offense, gets the tackle for the Spartans there.
So Byrd will get a fresh set of downs. Spartan defense bending but not breaking so far tonight. George calls for the ball in the shotgun. He's going to look to pass, but now he's going to keep it and run off the left side down to about the 15-yard line, run out of bounds by the Spartan D.
Another good job there by George, just pulling the ball down and getting what he can.
And you can tell he is not at his full speed. You can just tell by he's not limping, but you can just tell that he's not going all out on those runs.
Yeah, he got banged up early in this game on a defensive play down towards this end zone.
Yes. So gain of 8. That brings up 2nd and 2. Ball's at the 16-yard line. Thomason goes in motion. It's going to be another swing pass to Thomason out of the backfield. Makes a nice move, and he's going to scamper into the end zone. So he put the juke on the Spartan defender there, number 21.
Klein.
That was Klein, I believe, yes, to get into the end zone. So a great pass and a great move by Thomason to get in for the TD. And now Thomason will do the honors and try to connect on the PAT. And he puts that through. And his kicks, his PATs have been getting better from game to game, I've noticed. So.
Yeah, and that was by far the best drive of the night for the Flying Eagles offense.
Yes, very good. Their only scoring drive so far. They do make it we're going to call it a game. We'll see. We got some time left.
Yeah.
But it's 35-7 in favor of the Greenbrier East Spartans here at Robert C. Byrd High School. We'll take a timeout and be back after these messages. Back at Robert C. Byrd High School. Here is a attempted pooch kick, onside kick. It's going to roll out of bounds, though. Nice try by the Eagle special teams. It's going to roll out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, really good kick and good placement. Just took a bounce in favor of Greenbrier East and rolling out of bounds.
So that'll be a delay of game penalty against the Flying Eagles. But I don't believe that's going to change the spot of the ball, because I do believe you get the ball at the 35-yard line if it's kicked out of bounds on the kickoff, and that's just about where it went out of bounds.
So they're going to give them the ball on the 40.
They're going to give them 5 yards. Maybe it is on the 40. We'll have to check the rule book on that for the exact. So here's a handoff to Klein up the middle. Nothing doing. Good job by the Eagle defense there.
A host of tacklers there, led by Ty Drake for the Flying Eagles. Gets Klein to the ground.
Just under 2 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. The Spartans in control at Robert C. Byrd High School and Robert C. Byrd Stadium. Bennett in at quarterback. He's in the shotgun, flanked by 2 running backs. Taking his time, letting the play clock wind down wisely. Inside handoff again to Klein. He's going to go up the middle, and he's going to get probably 6 yards. He's going to be short of the marker, though. Right at about the 48-yard line is where they're going to spot the ball. That'll bring up a third down.
McMillan was the first defender there for the Flying Eagles, and there looked to be an injured Spartan down, but
I don't see one.
He's up. He's now running off the field, so that is number 74, Luke Carroll, who was injured, but he seems to be fine.
So the ref winds the clock. Just over a minute to go. 3rd and 2 for the Spartans. Eagles need a stop here desperately if they want to try to get back in this game. Here's the snap back. Going to be a handoff to the left back. Nothing doing by the Eagle defense.
That was Pate there, and Lotsky and Jones, as well as Gould there for the Flying Eagles.
So that's going to be a loss on the play of about 2 yards or so. It's going to bring up 4th down and 2, and it looks like the Spartans are going to go for it here. They're at midfield almost, 46-yard line, and they are going to have to run a play before the third quarter expires. About a 4-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. Here's a snapback. It's going to be a pass to Davis, who has recovered from his cramps, and he's going to have the first down just across the 50. Now pushing the pile forward. No whistle yet. Looks like a rugby scrum, and he's going to get down to the 40-yard line as time's going to run out here in the third quarter. So Davis recovered from those cramps, I guess.
Yeah, and really, if you're Greenbrier East, I'm sure a lot of fans are thinking, why go for it and why throw it there? But they saw the cornerbacks of Robert C. Byrd. I think they were all expecting run, and it's just a nice little 5-6 yard hitch. Throw it out there to Davis and let him do the rest of the work to get the first down.
That's a safe play. You're not throwing it into coverage or anything of the sort like that. Well, the Eagles have their work cut out for them here in the fourth quarter. They've got to come up with 28 points somehow. We'll take a break and be right back after these messages and see if they can score those 28 points. Back at Robert C. Byrd High School, the opening play of the third quarter sends flags flying. It's going to be a false start against the Spartans. Go back them up 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15. Ball's going to be placed at the 45-yard line when play resumes. Bennett in at quarterback still for the Spartans, so he looks like he's going to play the entire second half now. He's in the shotgun. Here's the snap and a handoff and a fumble on the play, but the Spartans are going to dive on it, and I believe that was Pate.
So a little miscommunication there.
Bad execution there.
Yeah, that was Klein.
Klein.
Just looking before he secured the ball. Very fortunate to get it back there. There was an Eagle defender right near that.
So that's going to be a loss of 4 on the play. Moves him back to the 46, 16 yards to go for the first down. Bennett in the shotgun once again. Here's the snap back. It's going to be Klein again on that little play, that little trap play, inside play, you'll call it. We'll call it. He'll rumble up back to the first down marker, or correction, to the down marker. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Well, gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
There we go.
Eventually tackled there by Ty Drake for the Flying Eagles.
So that was a pickup about 6, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 9. Ball resting at the 39-yard line. So, again, Eagles need to come up with a stop here. Precious time ticking off the clock. Bennett under center. Here's a handoff to Klein up the middle, and he's going to be stopped short, it looks like. He rumbles down to about the 32-yard line, so he's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, and a host of tacklers bring him down, and you're probably going to see Greenbrier East go for it here because they're kind of in no man's land. So,
yeah, punt's not going to really do you anything, and you've got a good running back in Klein. I would imagine he's going to touch the ball, or they're going to use him as a distraction or a decoy. Bennett doing a good job of letting that clock run down, that play clock run down. Inside of 10 now. He's under center. Here's a snap back and handoff to Klein. And Klein is going to be stopped short of the first down. So a nice defensive push along the line for the Eagles.
Yeah, going to be tackled there. Looked like number 52 for the Flying Eagles, Gail Adams. But there was a lot of penetration up front for the Flying Eagles defense. Did a good job there.
That's the best penetration that we've seen from the Eagle defensive line all night, I believe. So Bird gets the ball back now. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line, and they need to score quickly here if they want to make this a game in the fourth quarter. 9:42 remaining.
We'll see George if he can get back in a rhythm. That last drive was in really good rhythm there towards the end. So,
and they don't need to get everything at once, but they need to do need to get it quickly. And here's George. He's going to be sacked in the backfield. There's initial pressure by the Greenbrier East defense. He stepped up, ran into his own man, and then was sacked.
Yeah, a lot of pressure up front from those front four. Didn't really look like they brought any extra pressure from Greenbrier East. It was number 62 who had the initial pressure, Blake Dowdy for Greenbrier East.
It's maybe what you'd call a stunt, where they have a linebacker and they send him and he just looks for the hole that's open and shoots it. Shoots the gap, as they say. It's going to be a loss of 6 on the play. Here's a snap back to George. He's going to look downfield. He's got Bryce Bird for a completion about a yard or two.
McAllister.
Correction, that's about a 7-yard.
McAllister there in coverage and brings down Bird.
So that makes 3rd down more manageable. It's going to be 3rd and about 9. That's not really manageable, but it's better than it was. Ball's at the 33-yard line.
And McAllister did a good job of keeping Bryce in bounds.
Yeah.
So the clock runs.
Yeah. Eagles looking to pick up the 3rd down conversion. Here's George, and he's in the backfield, and he's going to be sacked again. Just not getting enough protection right now in the last couple of plays.
No, and you could tell George is not 100%.
Right.
Didn't really fight after he got hit. Just kind of went down, and Landon Von Fossen is going to get credit for the sack there for the Spartans.
Von Fossen, that's a great name.
It is a good name.
So that's going to force the Eagles to punt. 4th down and 24 at your 18 is just too risky. Thomason will handle the punting duties for the Flying Eagles. And he gets off a nice punt. Goes to his right. It's going to bounce inbounds at about the 40-yard line. It's going to be picked up by Greenbrier East. That was McAllister. Probably not wise to pick the ball up there, but he did and made a little bit of positive yardage.
Yeah, initially he touched it and bobbled it, and I thought it was going to get away from him, but did a good job of reeling it in. But I'm sure Coach Lee over there is probably going to tell him, hey, if they have any more punts, let's get away.
Yeah, definitely. So 7:13 left to go in the fourth quarter here. The Spartans in control, 35-7, on a night of what would have been or what could have been for the Flying Eagles. They look to improve their record to 2-1, but they're on the ropes right now. Once again, they'll travel to Elkins to take on the Tigers next weekend, next Friday. So here's Bennett taking the snap and a swing pass to McAllister out of the backfield. He's going to scamper. He's going to break free, and he is going to be gone down the sidelines at the 10 and into the end zone for a touchdown. So not a complicated design play, just a little swing pass. He went to the right, went actually back, and then beat the defenders around the right side for the touchdown.
Yeah, good play design. There is a flag down, and it's going to come back, so it's going to be a hold.
Okay, well, maybe that explains why he got so free. I did not see the hold there.
I did not. I saw Lotsky on the ground. To me, it looked more of a blindside or an illegal block rather than a hold, but I do believe the official called it holding.
Blocking infraction.
So, and it is going to be most likely a hold because they're going to mark it 10 yards from where McAllister caught that ball.
That'll back him up to the 39-yard line. So Bennett still working out of the shotgun for the Spartans. He'll keep this one and go up the middle, caught up the right side, and he's going to be met by the RCB defense.
Another little design. We haven't seen too many of those for Bennett like we have for Davis, but another design quarterback run. He is tackled by Logan McCartney of Robert C. Byrd.
Gain of a couple there. And bring up 2nd and 23. Ball's resting at the 26-yard line of the Spartans.
And they are going to have some trouble trying to get this play off. And it's going to be a penalty flag.
Not going to happen. So it'll be a delay of game. That'll back them up even further. It's going to be 2nd and 28. Ball's now resting at the 21-yard line. We had another lively student section here to start the night, but they are beginning to dwindle now. So here's a handoff to Klein. He's going to weave his way in and out of the Robert C. Byrd defense. He's got one man to beat, and looks like he is going to run into the end zone for the touchdown. I do not see any flags on the play.
Going to say, not sure what you draw up on a 2nd and 28. I guess flip the ball to Klein.
You draw that play. So really just probably Klein's best run of the night, just showcasing what he can do. Speed, durability, shiftiness, and he scampers into the end zone for the touchdown.
And again, I said it earlier, he's looked better as the night has gone on.
Yeah, he has. You're right. Here's a PAT by Dotson. It's going to be good, and that's going to make your score 42-7 Greenbrier East with 5:22 left to go in the fourth quarter. We'll take a break and be back after these messages. Back here at Robert C. Byrd High School, and the Spartans are going to kick off. It's going to go into the end zone, and by rule in the high school, that's a touchback. Fielded nicely by Thomas, and he wanted to bring it out, but he was not allowed to per the WVSSAC. Once the ball crosses the goal line, it is dead.
So, again, taking a look at
Klein's had a monster night tonight.
Klein's stat line tonight, carried the ball 25 times, 249 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Not to mention, he has 4 receptions for 93 yards and another touchdown catch. So if there's a game ball to be handed out from the Spartans, it's probably going to go to Klein.
Go to Klein, yes. And he's going to have a nice trip home tonight. So Byrd 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Here's a handoff straight up the middle to Jones. He's going to pound away for about 5 yards. And with that play call, it looks as if the Eagles are going to concede victory here, down by 35 points with just under 4 minutes to go. And that may be the smart thing to do. It's high school. You don't want to get anybody hurt. You've got the rest of the season. Yeah,
Rylan Rock has come in at quarterback to replace George. And a good run here by Jones as he springs it.
Nice job of running through the end zone. Makes a nice tackle. Makes a nice defender miss, and he's going to rumble all the way into the end zone.
What a nice run there by
very
Luttrell.
nice run.
Whew.
So we've seen 2 really nice runs tonight. One just by Klein and now one by Jones.
Yeah, Jones did a really good job. There was about 2 to 3 times I thought he was going to either get forced out or step out.
Yes.
But did a good job of high stepping and tight roping that sideline.
Yeah. A few of the little Eagles celebrating on the sidelines down below us. So Thomason will try the PAT for the Flying Eagles. And he splits the uprights. That makes the score Greenbrier East 42, Robert C. Byrd 14. Let's take a short break for messages from the Harrison County School Board, and we'll be back after this.
Harrison County Schools has a long-standing tradition of providing outstanding educational opportunities for its students. Comprised of 24 schools, our district serves the needs of pre-K through 12th grade students throughout Harrison County. Providing a safe, supportive learning environment for all, we offer a well-planned, comprehensive curriculum designed to meet the needs of every student at every grade level. The elementary curriculum emphasizes core subjects augmented by music, art, health, integrated technology offerings, and physical education. Middle school students are introduced to programs, career counseling, and coursework that will help them make the transition to high school. Our high schools offer a broad and challenging curriculum to meet diversified needs and prepare our students for future careers or post-secondary education. Advanced placement honors, as well as dual credit partnerships, are available through local universities. Healthy Grand Families is a free initiative to provide information and resources to grandparents who are raising grandchildren. Healthy Grand Families is a partnership with Harrison County Schools, Family Services, Harrison County, and United Way. Harrison County Schools, where all are leaders and all are learners.
Back here at Robert C. Byrd High School, the Eagles kick off after the spectacular run by Jones, and Davis took the kickoff, jogged gingerly up the field, and when the defenders got near him, he simply took a knee, and the Spartans will have it 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. 2:26 remaining in the fourth quarter.
And now Brody Hamrick has come in at quarterback for the Spartans. So he is the 3rd one we've seen tonight, getting some playing minutes here.
We'll take the shotgun and give the ball to the right to the up back.
That was
Number
Joe
23.
Baker.
He rambles along the right side, a couple of yards, maybe 5 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. Ball's at the 26-yard line.
And Greenbrier East taking their time.
Letting the play clock wind down as well. Here's a snap back.
That was Baker again.
Mm-hmm. Looks like he'll pick up the first down. We'll move the sticks inside a minute to go.
That was Gould there with the tackle for the Flying Eagles.
And most likely you'll see the Spartans take a knee on these next 2 plays. So Coach Grill will have to go back to the drawing board this week, put this one behind them, and get ready for next week's game versus the Tigers up in Elkins.
Yeah, their first road contest of the season.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, this is their 3rd home game in a row to start the year. So they hand the ball off, the Spartans do, and they're going to get a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. That was number 2, Sturgill. And that's going to do it for the Spartans and the Eagles tonight, as the Spartans won't have to snap the ball again. So tough night for the Eagles here at home. It always is tough to take a loss, but especially on your home turf like the Flying Eagles did here tonight. So your final score is the Spartans from Greenbrier East, 42, and the Eagles from Robert C. Byrd, 14. We'll take a quick break and be back to wrap things up after this. Back here at Robert C. Byrd High School to wrap things up. Taking a look at the stats, Jonathan, what do we have for the respective teams?
Yeah, taking a look real quick, team stats. Number of plays, 56 total plays for Greenbrier East, 43 for Robert C. Byrd. Greenbrier East outgained the Flying Eagles 545 total yards of offense to 224 for the Flying Eagles. Time of possession in favor of the Spartans, 26:39 to 17:46. 40 rushing attempts for 359 yards for the Spartans, while Robert C. Byrd ran the ball 21 times for 133 yards. 186 passing yards in the air for the Spartans, 91 for the Flying Eagles. Robert C. Byrd was just 1 of 9 on third downs, 11%, while the Spartans were 3 for 7, 42%. Greenbrier East was flagged 11 times for 90 yards, while the Flying Eagles were penalized 8 times for 60 yards. Some individual stats. Davis for Greenbrier East, 8 of 9, 131 yards, a touchdown. Ian Klein had a monster game, 25 carries, 249 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Also hauled in 4 catches for 93 yards and a touchdown. For Robert C. Byrd, Nicholas George, 9 of 22 for 91 yards and a touchdown. Latrell Jones, 9 carries, 105 yards and a touchdown. And Bryce Byrd had 2 receptions for 42 yards.
So a rough night statistically all the way around for the Eagles as they fall 42-14 to the Spartans. Just one programming note, we will not be on the air next week as the Eagles face the Tigers. You'll have to listen to that game on the radio. We only stream the games here from the friendly confines of the Robert C. Byrd High School Stadium. So we'll wrap things up here for our producer, David Oliverio. I'm John Griffin saying goodnight, Doss.
And I am Jonathan Griffin saying not good night to my son because he is here outside the press box waiting for me. So it could be a long night.
Good night, everyone.
Stiff arm in midfield, down the near side sideline to the 30, the 20, the 10. They're not going to get him. It's a Robert C. Byrd touchdown.